I've been wanting to put some of this information together for a while, and due to numerous frustrations that I feel because I have found so much information doing research. So my purpose is simple. I found out this information, I wanted to pass it on. If I help one person, then I've accomplished my goal. You've got to research some of these things. If you've got loved ones with cancer, heart disease, back pain, joint pain, hips, it's all going to be covered in here. Some unbelievable discoveries. And do your own research, consult your doctor, consult a naturopath, whatever, but look into this stuff. You need to figure something out, and that is that this is not just about you. If you want to be lazy and foolish and not do anything to try to prevent cancer or heart disease or whatever, but you're being selfish because it's the people around you. Hey, I don't care if you're 20 years old. You need to look at your family history. You need to look at these things and figure out, do I want to get on a program that's really simple, that costs me maybe a few cents a day, $1 or $2 a day, that might keep me from getting breast cancer, ovarian cancer if you're a gal, prostate cancer if you're a guy, colon cancer, these kind of things. Is there something out there that could help me not have to go through that? That is nothing more than when I drink my coffee in the morning, I pop some supplements? Oh, come on. I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer. The people around you love you, and you need to think about them. This isn't all just about you. So, young people, middle age, older, research this stuff. My sister passed away at 45 years old from cancer, and my mom passed away from cancer that came back 17, 18 years later. And if I knew the things that I know now, I'm not convinced they would have had to pass. So the purpose is to kick you in the tail. I've given you a lot of good information here that's taken a lot of research. Do what you need to. Talk to your doctor, talk to a naturopath, whatever, but utilize this information. Set up a simple website that'll give you some more of this information, but you're going to find all the links on this video. I don't want to give anybody the impression that I'm some devout health nut. I'm not. I do take, I try to exercise a couple of times a week at least. I like yoga. We've got mountains, as you can see behind me, that are in the Phoenix that you can climb that are good for cardio. And I'm not real good about working out at the gym. I play a lot of golf, but I walk and carry my bag so I'm not some crazed health nut by a long shot. I do take several supplements that I believe in completely. And again, I'm trying to turn you on to some of this stuff that I've discovered that has made my life a whole lot better. My goal is simple. I'm trying to stay as healthy as I can, as long as I can, for a couple of reasons. Number one, science is changing constantly. I understand now they can do a full knee replacement if you do the MRI layout, where they design the knee before and stuff, and they can do it like in 30 minutes. That's crazy compared to where we were. Full knee replacement in 30 minutes. I don't know. I find that pretty fascinating. So staying healthy as long as you can. There's more technology. There's more breakthroughs in medicine that are coming along. And the other thing is you want that better quality of life. I do. I don't really want to, I want to try to be playing golf into my 80s like some of the guys that belong to the club that I belong to. I want to travel. I want to enjoy. I don't want to wake up one day like my dad, who was traveling all over the place and enjoying life, and at 83 had a stroke. Now he's recovered and he can do a little bit of stuff, but nothing like he would be doing if he hadn't had that stroke. So strokes and heart attacks are typically caused by some of this stuff that's in your veins breaking loose and going in the wrong spot. So my theory is if I can avoid having this stuff ever build up in my veins, then that's my goal. These next two YouTubes you have got to watch. I don't care if you're 20 years old or 70 years old. You need to watch these two YouTubes. These people are incredibly smart, and you'll find that the issue about heart disease is not cholesterol, it is inflammation. You need to watch these and pass these on. Once you've watched these YouTubes, you're going to realize that inflammation and plaque are the issues. Plaque is basically some of the sticky part of the cholesterol with calcium building up and catching on little flaws that's inside your arteries. So if there's ways to fix those little flaws, this stuff can just keep passing by. But you'll see that, again, these guys are experts. I'm just was fascinated by the information. You need to look at these. These are scientists, these are doctors, these are really smart people, you know, that have put this stuff out. So use that as the lead-in for your research. But you're going to realize that the cholesterol myth that we've been led on is really not the issue. I want you to read about stents, and you are going to see that the idea of getting a stent does not necessarily solve your problems at all. In fact, many of the stents, they're blocked up right away again. So read about stents, and it'll make you want to keep your arteries clean. So how do you keep your arteries clean? Well, if you're already all jammed up in there, then you definitely got to look at some things to back it off, and that would be everything from pomegranates to avocados to vitamin K to chelation. Now, there was a study done recently on chelation because a lot of people really tout chelation, and it was done on people that already had heart attacks and were in pretty, dire straits, and they still had an 18% drop in further heart attacks, I believe. So you could look at that. But how about, I take it in a pill form, but how about if trying to keep you from building up any plaque, or if you have some and you want to reverse it, it's definitely something to think about or look at. The other thing is Dr. Ignario, I believe I'm pronouncing that right. He won the Nobel Prize for his studies in nitric oxide. Now, the amino acid arginine is very important. I take it as a supplement to produce nitrous oxide. And you're going to be able to read about nitrous oxide and how important it is for your heart, and also to be able to help reverse plaque. With my last sonogram on my carotids and everything, I'm zero, plan on staying zero forever. Once again, I remind you that when my dad had his stroke, he had never had a bad blood pressure reading or a bad cholesterol reading in his life, and he still had a dense stroke that paralyzed him on half his body. Inflammation is the big issue. The product I was talking about that I got my dad on that I feel was instrumental in his success and recovery from a stroke is the same product I take every day for heart health and for a million other reasons. It is called Wobenzyme. Take the word enzyme, but put W-O-B in front of it. This product has been around since the 60s, millions of dollars of research, came out of Europe. From what I see, it's the number 2 pain product in Germany. But read about Wobenzyme. It's used by world-class athletes to heal injuries. I've used it. I take it every day for battling inflammation, which is the number 1 issue basically to all aging aspects, heart and multiple other organs, joints, everything. I believe completely in this product. I have been blown away when I've had a couple of injuries. I've already taken it, then I amped it up even more, and the speed of recovery to me was remarkable. I do have a couple other things that I used to help speed recovery up, and I believe in Wobenzyme in a huge, huge way. If you know anybody with arthritis, you gotta turn them on to Wobenzyme. It is a big deal in my opinion. This is an enzyme that your body already produces. You're just giving it more of it because it doesn't produce enough of it. You're going to discover things about omegas, both 3, 6, 9, and 7. and the ratios between 3 and 6 that they look at and all these kind of things. These are the things you need to research. When you look at omega-7s, you'll probably see a Dr. Oz show, and he'll do a really good explanation of certain things. 7 can be like a very good Band-Aid for fixing some of the flaws that go on inside your arteries that cause clots and things. When we get to heart, you need to understand there's really important good fats and there's bad fats. You know, you've always hear about trans fats. Yeah, you want to avoid those, but there are some really good fats out there that you need to be aware of. Avocados are very good about trying to help you with certain things and to even help reverse plaque buildup. I think that's the big thing, is if you turn around and discover that you have plaque, you need to work on it, in my opinion, because the plaque is what I personally don't want to have develop. And there are things, you know, there's a study recently that was done on chelation therapy. Now, it wasn't earth-shattering because some people have believed devoutly in chelation therapy, and it's well worth investigating to see if it could help reverse your plaque buildup. It's actually approved by the FDA for heavy metal, so there's no downside to it. So it may be something you want to look at if you are prone to develop plaque, but there's other things, vitamin K. And again, on the national news, we saw how all of a sudden they're saying they want you to eat nuts every day. Again, that's back to the fats. And these fats there's some really important fats that you need in your diet, and that's where it's imperative you do your own research on this stuff so that you understand ratios between omega-3s and 6s and vitamin K and all these stuff I just talked about. Do it for your family, or maybe this is being done by somebody and they want to get on their dad's butt. But I am here to kick you in the fanny and have you look at this information, research it. If you know your dad, your mom, or somebody is prone and has, heart disease or whatever, then research these things, look at them, understand them, watch these YouTubes that I'm posting, that I'm putting on, so that you are up to date with the current information, so that you're not, I believe in Western medicine, I believe in Eastern medicine, I believe that, probably in natural form, there's a lot of things that is on this planet that can heal us in a natural form. So just keep an open mind as you research this stuff. That's the main thing. And if there's not a downside, do what I did years ago. I started experimenting with these things. And some things you can notice that you feel differently, but most of them you're not. It would require blood work and things like that for you to determine. And some things, even the blood work might not show up, but when you look at the science behind it, it just seems like a no-brainer. There's no downside to some of this stuff. And if you buy it right online and things like that, it is very, very cheap, most of it. Why not try it? So research omega-7s. If you look it up, you'll probably see a YouTube by Dr. Oz. What you want to understand is you can get omega-7s through macadamia nuts, anchovies, and that's SEA, buckthorn. So look those up and understand omega-7. You need to investigate vitamin K and understand how important vitamin K is. And you wouldn't take it in a pill form. It's better to take it in a natural form, and by making sure you get the foods and things. So if you have bad blood chemistry, or you have bad family chemistry, bad genes, some people just have bad numbers even at very young ages. So you need to be aware of the stuff, you need to do the research, and you need to figure out what the best approach is to try to resolve it. So if you have high cholesterol, that may not be your issue. You may be able to investigate some of this information, research it, and find that there are other alternatives to, and you don't have to necessarily panic about a little bit of high cholesterol. So do the research. I'm going to try to just kick you in the butt to do the research. Trying to give you some things to look at. Getting the fruits and vegetables. The key to all of this stuff is getting your mitochondria fed well. And you can look at that. I'm going to show you a video of a gal that had MS, and very smart gal, did a lot of research and came out of a wheelchair because she went on to more of a much more organic type diet and that, and what she called a hunter-gatherer diet. You know somebody with MS, you need to pass this video on to them to give them that information. You must research and understand C-reactive protein. There's people know what their cholesterol is and they don't even know what C-reactive protein is, and it's incredibly important that they do. It's a marker for inflammation. Heart in review. Most important thing is diet. Looking at juicing, veggies, incredibly important. Fruits, vegetables, we're down to the basics again. Inflammation. How do we battle inflammation? Well, Benzyme we've talked about, and we'll talk about it more. Curcumin, very good. Anadablock is something to look into. It's expensive, but it managed to bring a friend of mine's C-reactive protein numbers incredibly low from incredibly high. So it battles inflammation too, and in his case battled it in a very important way on his C-reactive protein. Antioxidants, CoQ10, astaxanthin, resveratrol, several different things that are excellent antioxidants, but CoQ10 especially for the heart. Look into garlic. Garlic, very valuable for the heart. Inflammation is the real culprit. You watch those videos, please, and pass it on to anybody. I don't care if they're 25 years old. If they've got a family history, they need to know this stuff and start battling it now.